Right, I'm out here teaching our people our nationality according to the Bible, your true heritage. Your true heritage according to the Bible. Because you're not black, you're not no African American, you're not no Hispanic. You're actually an Israelite according to the Bible. That's your true identity. Your true identity is not being called black. Black is a color. Black is what is the color of a crayon box. The thing is, what we got to start doing is getting out these bywords, one of the curses that our people have that the other nations have on our people. We wasn't being called African American until the 1980s by Reverend Jesse Jackson. Before that, you was called a nigger, colored, Negro. Before that, what were you called? What was your name when they picked you up over there in Africa? God called you something great. And the reason why you don't know, because your heritage was taken away from you during slavery. So this is the thing. What did God say about his people? Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6. It says, "For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are on the face of the earth." So we're supposed to be above all people that are on the face of this earth. Yes, brother. Yeah. All right, so the thing about it is, this is the question. You pointed to that image, why? Because you know that's a true image, right? All right, so in your heart? Okay, so why did they give you this image? Why they wanted to brainwash you? Do you know that's actually in the Bible? They know, yes, they did do that in slavery, but did you know that the kingdom is yours? It's not for no other nation. Also, this is another thing you got to understand, that you was never meant to be out of slavery. And the thing about that is they don't want you to know who you are. Let me read this again for you. Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6. It says, "For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are on the face of this earth." So you're supposed to be above all people on the face of this earth. Then why is our people in the conditions we in right now? Yeah, so my thing is, what is the whole requirement to get us out of get us back into our rightful place? So Deuteronomy chapter 10 verse 12, since that you know you're an Israelite, brother, it says, "Now Israel, what do the Lord thy God require of thee? But to fear the Lord God, to walk in all his ways and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul." So we supposed to serve him. And what do it take to serve? What it takes to serve him? No, it's also to keeping all the commandments. Uh-huh. Okay. All right, so what commandments could be easily that you could be keeping? You sure you keep all of them? There's nothing wrong with drinking. Well, if you know you drink too much, then just slow it down. That's all. It's real easy. Yeah, and then you know you got to have a beer too, brother. Yeah. Yes. Let me read that too. That's in Leviticus. Huh? Oh, wow. Yeah. Let me get this. I got it. Now Leviticus,
Which one? 26?
no, it's 19. I'll get it for you. So let me get that for you in Leviticus. It actually says it multiple times. That's our heritage. Leviticus chapter 19 verse 27. And it says, thou shalt not round the corners of your beards, neither shalt abort the corners of thy head. It also tells you right here, Leviticus 21 and 5, thou shalt not make baldness upon their head, neither shalt thou shave off the corners of thy beard, nor make cuttings in their flesh. Huh? Yes. No, the New Testament is the Old. You got to, in order to understand the New Testament, you got to understand the Old Testament, because everything in the Old Testament they was reciting. What was you think Paul and them walking around with? Uh huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you cannot do away with the Old Testament. You cannot push anything to the side, brother. You got to continue doing everything. So that's what the church actually teaches our people, that, you know, stay out the Old Testament. The old laws are done away with. They're not done away with. Yeah. So my thing is keeping all the commandments. Like a beard. Yeah. But to see, the thing is, I'm not trying to say this, but do you know how he said you love him? Let me, this is not to put you out there or nothing, but let me just show you. It's 1 John chapter 5 verse 3. It says, for this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. So that's what it means. We love him. And then 2 John 2 and 6 also tell you, and this is love, that we walk after his commandments. This is his commandment, that ye have heard from the beginning, ye shall walk in it. So that's what he's saying. And let me tell you what, as we always call him, Christ. Christ said this. No, they precept upon precept. All right, so let me read you this, brother. And behold, one came and said unto him, good master, what good thing shall I do that I might have eternal life? And he said unto him, why calleth me good? There is no one good but one, that is God. But if you would enter into life, keep the commandments. So he's telling you to keep his commandments. All right. So all throughout the Bible, you will hear, keep the commandments, the law. You'll never, you never can get away from the law. Let me get you John 14:15 real quick. John 14:15. It says, if you love me, keep my commandments. You know? What you mean? I got a lot of revelation, but what are you asking? What you mean the apocalypse now? The signs of the times basically gonna be men lovers after their own kind and all that. But the thing of, okay, but let me read you. My name is Othello. All right, let me grab you one of these, man, and then just okay. But you got to pick up a Hebrew name. Huh? Because that's your heritage, brother. Why keep on a slave name? No, I'm not saying that. But let me read you something in Revelation, brother. Let me read you the kingdom. I understand that, but they gave you that name out of ignorance. I'm not trying to say it that way. Not knowing your true nationality. So if you knew your true nationality, you would have been called something different. Now, think about the Chinese people. What are their names? Now, I'm not talking about the Americanized Chinese. You get what I'm saying? No, I'm not saying it like that. I'm talking about when you go over, if you was to go overseas, what about the Africans? Do they have American names? No, Africans had your people in slavery. The word was never given to them. Let me just read you something in Revelations. Let me read you this in Revelations, brother. Revelations 21:12. And it says, and the wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels. Bingo! And the names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of Israel. We're talking about the kingdom of heaven. So it doesn't say any other nation. Bingo! Right? I'm not saying that they're not going to be in a multitude, but that's the kingdom is actually for yours, inside the kingdom. Right, without no hose bars. Gonna rule with an iron rod, brother. It was probably right, but let me I'll read you this too, brother. It says Psalms 147, 19 and 20. It says, He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgment unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation. As for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. See what I'm saying? He only deals with Israel. And the Israel are one of your people. Yeah. So just start practicing keeping the commandments. Since I'm in Psalms, let me read you this too, brother, before you walk away. Because this is how you're going to get that wisdom, brother. Psalms 111 and verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praises endure forever. So when you start doing these commandments, brother, you're going to get into righteousness. You're going to get into, the spirit going to be able to come on to you and things going to start clicking left and right. You ain't got to deal with this nonsense right here. You know what I'm saying? Because man who was upholding the law, we ain't got to deal with stuff like this. See what I'm saying? Yep. All right. So once again, I'm out here teaching our people your true nationality according to the Bible. Your nationality and your heritage. Your heritage of the Bible, because you're not black, you're not no Hispanic, you're not no Native American. You're actually an Israelite according to the Bible. That is what God called you. God did not call you black. You cannot find African American in the Bible. You cannot find Hispanic in the Bible. You cannot find Puerto Rican. You cannot find Native American. You will not find those terms in the Bible. But what you will find are the 12 tribes of Israel. So how do you know you're an Israelite? It's by the curses is only applied to a certain group of people. When you get these curses, it's only going to be on you. It's only going to be on one group. It's only going to be a selected group. So when you look at these people, you're going to realize that, man, that's me. Let's go into Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and a wonder upon thy seed forever. So it's going to be a sign and a wonder upon your seed forever to know who you are according to the Bible. It's going to be a sign and a wonder. What's a sign and a wonder? How do you know you're on 79th and Exchange? By looking at the signs. How you know that's a Jordan sign on your hat, brother? Because it's a sign. So it's going to be a sign and a wonder on your people. On your people. So what's going to be this sign? Let me ask you a question, brother. How did your people get over here? On the boat, right? All right, so how did your people get over here? All right, it says, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again. Of course, we know Moses didn't go back into Egypt. All right? So, if he didn't go back into Egypt, what do Egypt mean in this Bible verse? Let me go into Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 6, and it's going to explain Egypt. It says, I am the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. So when you hear Egypt, that means slavery. So let's read Deuteronomy 28, verse 68, with understanding what Egypt means. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt, which means slavery, again with ships. By the way I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there, when you get to that land, you're going to be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, meaning slave women. And no man shall buy you, meaning nobody going to redeem you. How you doing, brother? All right. I can't help you, brother. All right. So that's what we got to do. We got to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. That's what we got to do. It's very simple and very easy. That's all we got to do. Come back. And how do we come back? By being around righteous people who can teach you the laws. But the thing about it is our people reject that. Why is that? The Bible actually says that we're going to actually reject that. Let me get you Isaiah chapter 1, verse 3. Isaiah chapter 1, verse 3. It says, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But it says, Israel do not know. My people do not consider. It says that his people will not even consider that they're Israelites. His people will not even consider that they're God's greatest people that are on the face of this earth. That's what the Bible just said. And it's actually true, giving proof. Because look at our people now. You tell somebody that they're an Israelite, the first thing they're going to say is, no, I'm black. No, I'm African American. No, that can't be me. You're supposed to be above God's greatest. You're supposed to be above all nations that are on the face of this earth. You're supposed to be actually in rulership. Our people not in rulership. We out here hustling. We out here nickel and diming. We out here struggling, from living from check to check. Not understanding that these curses are applied to our people. All these curses apply to our people. What's one of those curses that I was talking about? Deuteronomy chapter 28. Let's get back into some of these curses. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 65. It says, among these nations thou shalt find no ease. So once again, among these nations, we're not going to find no ease. We're going to want to be out here working hard every day. How you doing, brother? Working hard every day. Working 2 jobs. Hustling. Going from check to check. Going to the offices trying to get some extra money, extra help. When we have a whole family that won't help us out. We're supposed to help each other out. It's actually, if you want to get into it, we can get into the laws. It's a law that you're supposed to help your brother. It's a law that says when you loan to your brother, you're not supposed to charge him interest. But yet and still, look at our people. Every other nation gets together besides our people. We so divided. Let me just read that. Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. It says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. Our people reject simple knowledge. What is actually simple knowledge? Knowing that you're one of God's greatest people on the face of this earth. But people don't want to hear that because of their conditions they're in. That's one of our curses too. That's one of our curses, that because we would actually say, if all this stuff going on, it can't be no God. Let me read that in Deuteronomy 28. Because our people, we love to say, it can't be no God. All this killing out here, these little bitty kids getting killed. I ain't got no job. I'm out here, out in the street. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 67. In the morning thou shalt say, would God it were even. And in the evening thou shalt say, would God it were morning. Basically, man is saying that we wouldn't even say it's a God because of what's going on in our lives. We wouldn't even say it's a God because our condition. But we don't realize that we putting ourselves in this condition. It's common sense. Once you come into the truth, see, the thing about our people, we've been over, I get it, 400 years of oppression. I get all that. 400 years of oppression. That's one of our curses too that I bring out. I bring that out. It says, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind groping in darkness. And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. And thou shalt only be oppressed and spoiled even more. And no man shall save thee. That's one of our hard curse on our people. Because what we do, we complain about everything. We always complain about our situation. I ain't got this. I ain't got this. This not going on. My light's getting cut out. Man, I need a new job. I'm only making $15 an hour. Man, how much are y'all? How much are they paying you at your job? And it says, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. Every time we try to do something, what goes on? We don't prosper. We get shut down. We get knocked down. Y'all don't even realize every other nation is actually in your neighborhood selling to your people, but where's your people's stuff at? We don't own nothing. We don't own anything. But let's just keep it real. We don't own anything in our country. We don't own nothing, but we walk around all proud and stuff. We walk around proud because we got a small little job, we got this and we got that. No. And it says this is to be spoiled even more. Just being spoiled even more. It's actually windy out here. What's being spoiled even more? I can tell you what's being spoiled even more. Link card. A link card is being spoiled. Do you know why?
Your tripod failed.
I got it, ma'am. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
It is super windy out here. So what's being spoiled even more? What's being spoiled? Once again, a link card. That's being spoiled. And why I say a link card is being spoiled, because one, we don't do right by the link card. We don't do right by that. Because why I see people selling link cards in the stores all the time. What else? The link card is being spoiled. What I mean by being spoiled by that is you can only make a certain amount of money to get a link card. And if the more money you make, they're going to cut you right off. Then that puts you in a situation, we got some people saying, I can't pick up no extra hours or they're going to cut me off the link. Same thing with Section 8. It goes hand in hand. Public housing. I can't make this much money. I can't get a better job because if I do, I'm going to get cut off. And that puts our people in that mindset. And then when it's saying no man shall save thee, look at all these programs that's been out there. Who we all have? We had Martin Luther King. We had Malcolm X, Black Panther Party, Harriet Tubman, Marcus Garvey. Now you got Black Lives Matter. All these people coming out trying to help our people, and we still in the same condition. You got the so-called church. You got a church almost within every mile. You got about 2 or 3 churches. But yet still, we still in the same condition. Why is that? Because they're not teaching the laws of God. And the thing is, we hoeing our sisters out. Our men are the whoremongers. We're not protecting our family. We're not teaching our family. We're not teaching the basic things. And why are we not teaching the basic things? Because one, we don't know the basic things. We don't know the simplest things. Can I ask y'all a question real quick about the Bible? Y'all know what Jesus looked like? So if I was to ask you what Jesus looked like, point to Jesus. No, point to him. Which one? Huh? Which one? This one? All right, let me explain one thing to you, sister. Why do you think that's Jesus? This one. Why do we look like him? Have you seen Jesus before? So you haven't seen Jesus before, but that image right there you think is Jesus. Let me just read you something in the Bible real quick, sister. And now we're going to play, you like playing games? We play a real quick game. We're going to call it like almost like, you ever heard baseball? Or soccer or something like that? All right, put it like this. And now I'm going to read you this. I'm going to read you what Christ looked like in the Bible, Jesus, and I'm going to see if this image looked like him. It says his head and his hairs were white like wool. You know what the color white is? Is his hair white? All right, let's read it again. His head and his hairs was white like wool. It's white as snow. Is his hair white as snow? All right, it said his eyes were as a flame of fire. You know what color is fire? All right, is his eyes red? All right, and it says, and his feet was like unto fine brass. You know what the color brass is? You know what the color of a penny? Let me just see something right quick. See if I got a penny in my pocket. This is a penny. We'll put that on your hand, like this, on the back of your hand. That's like the color of brass. So what color is that? Look like your color, right? So let me ask you a question. It says that's the color of brass. It says, do we look like that? All right, so, and his feet was like unto fine brass, all right? As they burned in a furnace. Now, if you put anything in the oven and you leave it in, you ever put something in the oven and burn it? You ever burn something? Oh, you haven't been cooking yet? You ever know what charcoal is? You ever seen some barbecue? And it start getting dark. So whenever you burn something, it's going to get darker. So it's actually, he's darker. So this will be of a better image of the way Jesus looked like. All right? So when somebody say what Jesus looked like, he looks like you. He doesn't look like this person. That's something that they gave on our people to fool us. So this is something that I was teaching them, and this is something very important because you know what, sister, you God's greatest, you're great. You're one of God's greatest people on the face of this earth. All right, they gave you that image to, when we look at our own people, we don't see that. They don't want us to see this. They want us to see this. And that's actually a real man. That was Caesar Borgia, Pope's sixth son. All right, so now you know. All right. All right, thank you. Thank you.